Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ihoma. So today's gist is Mother's Day inspired, and incidentally earlier this week was also International Women's Day. From an early age I saw, like my sister would say, that this life no balance. I saw the difference in gender quite early. That must have been when I was about 2-3. I still remember, for some reason that memory stuck with me. When I was in the kindergarten, it was time to use the restroom, and I realized that it seemed easier for the guys than for the girls, and it got me intrigued. I always wondered why. There's this picture on social media talking about birth control and how it's being administered to the wrong gender. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but I saw it and I'm like, oof, everyone needs to see this. Some of the things I'm going to be saying in this video, a lot of people will say this is how it's always been, now so it be right from time. And if this is how something has always been and it's not good, it doesn't mean it should continue, because that's how it's always been. Now so it be, now so it be. That's how they were killing twins. Yes, in this part of the world they were killing twins and nobody said anything. It had to take one brave woman to stop them from that evil that was being, oh baby, what's the word? Perpetrated. Please say it, let me hear. Perpetrated. It had to take one brave woman and the people around her, I guess, to stop everyone from this horrible culture and tradition. So if something has been going on for a long time, it doesn't matter how long it's been going on, if it's not right, it needs to stop as soon as possible. So this is not intended to annoy or aggravate or incite anyone. Rather, it's a call for introspection, reflection, to be more aware of the other gender, I mean the woman. A call to be more aware of women and our plight. I am actually hoping to spare a moment to really think about women and what they have been going through the ages. Check history and you see a lot of accounts abound of all that women have been through, from not just Africa, all over the world. Women have been through a lot. They have been treated like the lesser humans, which should not be. And yes, things have really improved, because when I look through those historical accounts, I'm shocked. I'm like, how did these women even survive this? But there's still more to be done, because a lot of people haven't still left most of this mindset that is against women behind. Life hasn't been very fair to women, and that is the honest to God truth. And these women are our mothers. So today is Mother's Day, another opportunity to celebrate our mothers and the women in our life. And I'll encourage you to seize every opportunity you get to do so. Celebrate them, look out for them, and correct every injustice that you find. If you really look with your heart, really look and see what goes on around you, you will see that, just like Chimamanda Adichie said, we should all be feminists. I remember hearing that saying or sentence, we should all be feminists, from Chimamanda Adichie, and I was like, oh yeah, really, yes, we should all be feminists. And I thought, I actually know a feminist. That's my dad. My dad has always been one feminist that I know, always looking out for the rights of the women in his life. He could see that life had given women the shorter end of the stick, and he did whatever he could to make life better for the women around him. He protected them the best way he could. He gave them advantage, education, whatever it is that he could to make their life better. My dad was a feminist, and he's a man. and is more male than most men that I know. So really, feminism has nothing to do with hating men or being a woman. Feminism has a lot to do with seeing the injustice that has been meted out to women through the ages and seeking to correct it, especially because we are all connected to women one way or the other. Every one of us came from a woman. I grew up hating injustice. I know hate is a strong word, but I grew up hating injustice with all my heart. And that is one of the reasons I wanted to be a lawyer. Story for another day. And my dad saw that injustice, and he always let us know that our voice should never be stamped out by anyone. I will never forget what he said to me, I mean my dad, the very first day I was going to meet Hobby's parents. He said to me, when you get there, be yourself. The way you are is good for anyone in any part of the world. And if anyone doesn't like you, it is not because you were not good enough. Just remember that. And when you get there, just be yourself. Do not try to impress anyone. Do not. That was one of the most liberating statements I've ever heard. My dad was not one to put pressure, marital pressure, on any of us. Not one of us did he call one day to ask, when are you getting married and all that and all that. No, that was not him at all. So let me use this opportunity to appeal to those of you who love to pressure women, asking them, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? They cannot marry themselves. So please stop the pressure already. There's already enough pressure, societal pressure. Don't add to it by asking them when they're going to get married, because they are not the ones that will marry themselves. You can ask the other group who society have allowed to be the ones to do the chasing and asking. Most often, all this kind of pressures just lead into trouble. Trouble, big trouble. So when I first heard we should all be feminists, the first person I thought about was my dad. And even though today was my first day of checking out that sentence by Chimamanda Adichie to find out what she was actually saying, I already knew in my heart what she was talking about, because that sentence says it all. We really should all be feminists. We really should all be looking out for the women in our lives. I instinctively knew what she was talking about. And after watching one or two of her videos today, it ticked all the boxes. All the boxes. I was not disappointed. I'm going to leave a link of one of her videos in the description in case you're interested. She gave words to most of the thoughts that go on in my head. It's not easy to be a woman, biologically, socially, and otherwise. And today our focus is on mothers, which every woman is, at least potentially. Look out for ways to make life easier for them, and stop complaining about how often we celebrate women. Too many Women's Day. Every time they're celebrating women. You should even look for more ways to celebrate them. And that being said, I think men should be celebrated as often too. Yeah. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. But really, if you allow yourself, if you allow your heart to be in touch with what women have been through, you'll see why there's this urge to celebrate them by different groups, by everyone. The woman, Anna Jarvis, I don't know if I'm right, yeah, Anna Jarvis, who started this Mother's Day we all celebrate, she wasn't even about herself. There's this video on social media that talked about the value of mothers, the sacrifices they make. You know, it was supposed to be some sort of interview, video interview. They call different prospects and start telling them what will be required of them, how they're walking around the clock, and at the end of the day they'll get no pay. They're like, is this legal? Is this possible? And the man said, yes, people are actually even holding this position right now, and they are mothers. I remember the first time I watched the video, I just teared up. And when tears came out of my eyes, I was not thinking about myself, even though I was already a mother then. I was thinking about my mom. I was thinking about my mom. So most times when people think about mothers, when women are thinking about mothers, they're not even thinking about themselves. They're thinking about the mom who gave birth to them. You know, we women have mothers too. I remember the day I had the twins, Keto and Kobe. Another story for another day. But the moment my mom walked into the ward, I can't put those emotions into words. I can't even try. But I found out later on that I wasn't even the only one who saw it. I had gotten a glimpse into what it takes to bring life into this world, and that was my heart saluting another woman. My respect for her had gone up. I can't explain it, but maybe it's only a woman who has gone through childbirth in one way or the other that will understand. So it's not easy to be the one who brings children to life. It's not an easy task. It's something worthy of honor. So we cannot do too much to celebrate our mothers. It can never be too much, and I'm sure you agree. So begin to look for ways to change the narrative, to correct the mistakes that you see around you. Allow God to touch your heart. Allow God to open your eyes. And I have a word for fellow women who have put themselves in a position to be a stumbling block, to be a problem to women with all the wahala that we already have. You, another woman, decided that you will add to that wahala, even though you know the pains of being a woman. I have a word for you. You see your cane, the cane that they're going to use to flog you is still being soaked in kerosene. It's still being soaked in kerosene. There's a picture I saw on social media that made me laugh out loud. I think that was on WhatsApp. Somebody asked, how do I tell my boss, thunder fire you? In a very nice way. So I want to borrow from those words now. So it says, may all the voltage that the clouds harness, mostly during rainfall, come down just to charge you up a bit, sir. Only you deserve that kind of energy. And me, what I have to say is, may all the voltage may all the voltage that the clouds harness, mostly during rainfall, may it come down on you to charge you up a bit. It's not nice. Stop it. So women in this category are as follows. Number one, wicked mother-in-laws. They are soaking your cane in kerosene. You have decided that another woman will not have peace. Number two, wicked daughter-in-laws. In case you don't know, they are wicked daughter-in-laws. You married a woman's son, and now she doesn't have peace of mind. Wicked daughter-in-law. God is in the cinema watching you. Number three, wicked nurses and wicked female doctors. Yes. You see, I've heard different stories. Those are the stories that made me decide that unless I don't have a choice, I will have nothing to do with general hospitals. Most of those nurses, not all, I'm sure they're kind ones, but most of those nurses and female doctors are so wicked to their fellow women, very wicked to them. They're already going through a lot to bring forth children, and they come to the hospital and you make life a living hell for them. Number four, side chicks. Did they call them up chicks or is it down chicks? Side chicks. You decided that your ministry is to give another woman hell in her marriage. Don't worry. The voltage is accumulating. Number 5, wicked umadas. Wicked umadas and sister-in-laws. You see all those umadas are always rushing in front to come and scrape the woman's hair. Hey, she's the one that will drink the water after washing the dead body. And you're a woman and you have a husband. Or even if you don't, you're a woman. Well done, no. Well done. Clap for yourself. And all those sister-in-laws, your brother gets married and the girl will not have peace of mind because he's unfortunate to have a sister like you. Well done. Your cane is being soaked. The voltage is accumulating. Now number 6 we did now. Female pimps and sex traffickers. A woman. You carry another woman like you and sell her for sex trade. Unforgivable. I don't even know how you got the way you are, but you need to ask God for mercy. And God forgives everything, really. He does. Number 7, wicked women in power. You're in a position of authority, and instead of you to find ways to make life better for human beings, especially women like you are there making life miserable for them. And if anyone should understand what they go through, it should be you. But no, you've decided that you will be their biggest nightmare. Reconsider your ways. And the last group of women are the women who do this without even realizing. You innocently ask your daughter to go and cook for the brother because she's the woman. Stop it. Stop it already. Cooking is a survival skill that every human needs. So don't just teach your female children and leave the male out. No, not at all. Don't do that. Don't encourage your boys to behave anyhow. As you teach the girls, teach the boys too. You are supporting all of this evil system when you do all these kind of things. So like I've said before, this is not a rant against men. No. Not at all. Not at all. It is not. It's a call to pay more attention to women and change the stereotypes. We all have mothers, we have daughters, sisters, cousins. So we are all affected. Become more conscious, more aware, even of other people's behavior, the people around you, the way they behave towards the women around you. Become more conscious of it. Become more conscious of it. And if you or any of the people around you have been unfair to them, seek to correct it. If you as a man, you've been unfair to your wife, in not realizing that she's just a human like you, who wouldn't like betrayal or ill treatment just the way that you wouldn't, correct it. Or a man who has been unfair to his daughters by being disappointed at their bets, not giving them your best because you believe they'll soon belong to another man, and not giving them an inheritance. Please reconsider, because the message you are sending to them, even if you didn't know it, is that they are not as important as the men. And that one of inheritance, I still don't understand it, because I don't know how you take bride price money on their head. You also take money from their husbands from time to time to support or do when there's a family function. And then when it's time to leave inheritance, you leave their name out. But if you need support from them, you do not hesitate to ask for it. I do not understand. Please, if you know how to make it make sense, just use the comment section and enlighten us. So what am I saying in essence? Women are much more than just domestic objects. Much more than that. When you shortchange women, you are shortchanging yourself, you are shortchanging your family, you are shortchanging the nation and the world at large. So take up this course and begin to look out for the women around you. So if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, and please share the video to everyone who needs to see this. And if you have not subscribed, please, this is the time to do so. Do not forget to subscribe before you leave. And I'll see you all again in my next video. Bye.